What's going on, Bulls fans? Welcome to another episode of Chicago Bulls Central, your number one spot for everything Chicago Bulls related. On today's episode, we'll be breaking down the results of the NBA draft lottery, how it could possibly affect what the Bulls do in the lottery and with their draft selection. We'll get into all that and more right after our intro.
You are now tuned in to Chicago Bulls Central, your number one place for all Chicago Bulls news and content.
All right, Bulls fans. So, as everyone knows, the draft lottery happened last night, as well as the start of the Eastern Conference Finals. But we're going to focus on the draft lottery here today. Now, the Orlando Magic did get the number one pick. And the Bulls picked 18th. So, however everything shook out in the lottery, it affects what the Bulls are going to do somewhat, I think. But because the Bulls picked so far after the lottery, and there are still a handful of teams that, their draft position did not change, it changes how I was going to cover it a little bit, but not very much. I still do think that as far as you guys, been very vocal, one of the draft picks that I'm focusing and that I really want the Bulls to go after is Mark Williams. Do I think what happened or how the lottery shook out could possibly change what happens in the for the Bulls possibly going after Mark Williams? It could. And the reason why I say that is Mark Williams could definitely be one of those guys who, after a combine, some workouts, things like that, he shoots up into that lottery. And especially looking at the New York Knicks, if they're going to let Mitchell Robinson walk away, Mark Williams could possibly be there. Now, would it be a stretch for them to draft him at 11? It's possible. Like I said, he could really shine in workouts, competitions, things like that, to where he may rise up into that lottery where, yeah, there's still a little bit of a reach selecting Mark Williams with the 11th pick. But considering what they may be losing out on and the possibility of them just letting Mitchell Robinson go or walk, I should say, or maybe work out and sign and trade, things like that, it is possible that they do that. I think also Charlotte with the 13th pick is another one. They also have the 15th pick, so they could use that out of lottery pick, that 15th pick, to go after him. They could use a long athletic center as well. I look at Atlanta possibly being someone interested in Mark Williams as well, and Houston. Those are all the teams that select before the Bulls. Cleveland, they have the 14th pick. Even if Mark Williams works himself into being a lottery pick, I don't see Cleveland with all the big men that they have there going after Mark Williams. So that's a non-starter there. So if he does move into the lottery, Mark Williams, I really do think it's going to be that 11th pick, possibly that 12th pick with the Oklahoma City Thunder as well. Now, Tari Eason, another person that I'm interested in the Bulls going after, and I will have a draft profile on, could also go in that kind of borderline lottery right outside of the lottery place. That's somebody else I'm looking at. Now, Jaden Hardy is also somebody on my list. He does not project to really move into that lottery. He could be very well there for the Chicago Bulls, but ultimately, what I think the Chicago Bulls are going to do if they keep the pick, I still think it's a high chance that they may trade that pick. But if they do keep the pick, I think they're going to go whoever they think has the most talent. And the reason why I think that, and I want to hear from you guys on this one, if you agree or disagree, is I think, yes, the Bulls have need of length. They have need of shooters. They have needs. But I think if they're going to look to compete and be way better in a team that can make a deep playoff run into possibly that second round and things like that, I think that their needs are going to have to be filled with veterans, whereas you can take the risk of going after the player you think has the most upside with your 18th pick and then fill your needs in free agency rather than try to fill a need with a rookie at the 18th pick. That's what I think. I still think a drafting stash is available. I still do think that it may be more likely that they move that pick for somebody who can help them compete now, but I want to hear from you guys on this one. What do you think the Bulls will do or should do with that 18th pick? How do you see do you see the way that the lottery shook out at all affecting some of the Bulls draft picks? EJ Liddell, somebody who a lot of Bulls fans are interested in as well, and I am too. I'm from Ohio State. You guys know I'm in Ohio, so there you go there. I'm familiar with him. He's kind of, in some mock drafts, has moved into the second round. Now, we know that AK and Eversley, they have no problem drafting whoever they see as the top, but EJ Liddell, the Bulls can't buy a second-round pick to try to draft him. Now, they could wait till after a team drafts him or work out a deal beforehand. Then the team is technically using their own second-round pick and then maybe trade it to the Bulls for whatever else. But EJ Liddell is still somebody who's high on my list as well. But one thing that I do want to look at, if the Bulls do plan on moving Kobe at the deadline or moving him in a separate deal, not with that 18th pick, I do think that Jaden Hardy is a possibility. And also Dyson Daniels, also 6'6" guard. He's only 200 pounds. He could play point guard or shooting guard. They both have some scoring capability. And Jaden Hardy is compared to Buddy Hield. Now I know I'm going to get into more details in this when I do my draft profiles, but this is kind of just me spitballing and thinking. But let me know what you guys think down below. I want to hear from you on this one. Who are some draft prospects you would like the Bulls to look at? Do you think that they keep or trade that pick? Do you think they need to go with need? Or should they just go best available? And like I said, fill needs in that free agency spot. Let me know what you guys think about everything down below. Quick episode of Chicago Bulls Central. Thank you for supporting the show. Make sure you're following the show at Bulls Central Pod. You can follow me personally at CEO Haize, that's CEO Haize. Also, if you want to send any feedback, questions, comments, concerns, bullcentralpod@gmail.com. And lastly, if you want to leave a text and or voicemail, you can do so at 773-270-2799. We are the #1 spot for all Chicago Bulls news and content, like I like to end every episode on. Go Bulls. See red, don't be red. I love you guys. Peace, y'all.
This has been a presentation of the Break Media.